Hello, happy July 5th. I am coming on here to do a Instagram live. I was missing in action last week, but I am back to talk about how to be happy every day. So, if you are wondering how you can experience happiness every day, you're working on your vibe and you want to know how you can maintain it every day, even in the midst of life's challenges, this is going to be a very interesting video for you. I know it's still connecting and finding people to let them know that I'm live, but because I repost these on YouTube, I'm just going to jump right in. So, the first thing I want to say is the reason that this is so important for manifestation is our vibe affects what we attract. So our mood, essentially, how we're feeling affects what we attract, because as we think and as we feel good, as we think good, that affects our reality and what comes to us. So that's why it's so important. Your happiness is so important for manifesting. So today, I'm going to be sharing 3 tips that are really going to help you experience happiness every single day, and I truly mean that. And it's going to help you vibrate high, even in the midst of life's challenges, life's obstacles, and really going to help you still feel joy every single day, no matter what is going on. So, the first thing I want to talk to you guys about is in order to feel happiness every day, it's not about not ever feeling negative emotions. So, when I say when experience happiness every day, it's not about never feeling negative emotions throughout that day. It's not about avoiding negative emotions. It's not about getting rid of them. In fact, it's not about focusing on negative emotions at all. It's more so focusing on bringing in more positive experiences. So I share an analogy that we use a lot in the psychology world. If you could imagine your emotional experience like a pie, like a circle, and each slice of that pie is an emotion that you're feeling throughout that day. So let's say something happens and you have a slice of disappointment because something didn't go your way in life. Okay? You want to do things in your day instead of just focusing on that disappointment. You want to fill your pie with other slices of other emotions that do feel good. So maybe you go take a walk and that brings you in some peace. Maybe you pray, that brings you in some serenity. Maybe you go talk to a friend and that brings you some feelings of connection, right? So your experience isn't just that disappointment, right? You have all these other pieces of your experience that day that round out your experience so you can overall feel happy even though you felt that disappointment. And while we're on that topic, it's the more we avoid these negative emotions or focus on getting rid of them, the more negative that we will bring. So if you have that disappointment in the day and all you're focused on is trying to get rid of feeling disappointed, instead of allowing it to be, being mindful of how you feel, having some compassion for yourself, and then moving on to feel other things, if you just focus on getting rid of it or avoiding it, not facing it, pretending like it's there, like say you go drink to avoid the disappointment, or you go shopping, or you go have like some meaningless sex, or I don't know, as soon as those things are over, as soon as the drunken state is over, or the high from going shopping is over, or you're done taking a nap, whatever it is you do to avoid it, it's going to come back even stronger because it wants you to recognize, hey, I feel disappointed. I want you to be mindful of it. I want you to acknowledge that. That's what your spirit is telling you. Something you're thinking or feeling is not in alignment with your true self, and you have to take time to acknowledge how you feel before moving on to fill your experience with other pieces of the pie. So I hope that makes sense. If that doesn't, if you have any questions about that, either write it here, write it in the comments, or DM me and we can talk more about that. But the first tip for feeling happiness every day is to be mindful that it's not about avoiding negative emotions or never feeling any negative emotion. It's about also bringing in positive emotions to round out your experience for that day. Okay, so my second tip after that is to really prioritize your joy, because if you don't, the world is not going to do so. So I want you to take time to actually prioritize feeling good in your life, okay? And when you first start to do this, it's going to take more effort. It's going to feel more mechanical, but the more you get in the flow of it, it's going to come natural and be a natural part of your life. So I have a video on this as well, which if you're interested in it, I can share it with you if you just DM me. But essentially, you're going to take time to plan things that make you feel good. You're going to plan things that are fun. You're going to plan things that make you feel taken care of. You're going to plan things that bring you some mindfulness, like plan when you're going to meditate, plan when you're going to go get your nails done, plan when you're going to talk to that friend, to socialize, to connect. Because if we just leave it up to the world, we'll never feel good. And really, when it comes to feeling happy every day, it's about taking that initiative to prioritize our joy, because we have that divine right. It's our divine right to feel happiness. It's our divine right to feel joy. And if we don't take responsibility for that right, no one else is. In fact, the world's just going to take you. You're just going to be going through the motions. So what I like to do is at the beginning of the week, especially with having 2 under 2, is just kind of look at my calendar. When can I put those spots for places for me to experience joy, for me to experience peace? In my program, Dream Life Academy, I teach a specific way to do this. And essentially, it's all about being mindful, being intentional about prioritizing your joy. I have a manifestation planner linked in my bio here on Instagram. If you're interested in how to plan for manifestation, that incorporates that as well. That will help you. If you're not in my program, you can just get that printable and learn how to do this technique as well. Okay, so that's the second one. It's pretty easy. It's about intention, getting it on the calendar, and then following through. And then if you don't happen to do some of the things that you plan, don't beat yourself up about it. That goes against the point. Just realize, okay, let's say you wanted to meditate every day and you didn't get a chance to. Instead of beating yourself up about it, I want you to take the time to look at what got in your way of sitting down to pray every day. What got in the way of you sitting down to meditate? Because it's obviously something that you want to do. What's not allowing it to happen? That's going to allow you to course correct, and in the future, when you try again, you're going to have more power to succeed, right? Okay, so my last thing that I want to share with you when it comes to feeling happiness every day is to check your thoughts. So many times throughout our lives, we're just going through the motions. We are, taking care of our families. We are being the best friends we can be. We're trying to succeed at work, right? We're just kind of doing things. We're not taking the time to actually look at what are the thoughts going through our head, right? What are some of the dialogue and the mind chatter that is dominating my brain every day, because that really affects our happiness. So if you can take time to really look at what thoughts are going through your head, what themes of thoughts are going through your head, like are you having a lot of thoughts about, oh, you feel like you don't have enough time? Well, that's a thought that takes your power away, because it's not that you don't have enough time, it's that you haven't made time for what it is that you want to do, right? That's a way to take your power back, just in the way that the language that you use in your thoughts. Or you may be having thoughts where you're complaining a lot or judging others, and you're just not aware of how that negativity is impacting your mood. So I like meditation as a great way just to take a moment of silence and peace and to look at, as the observer, what are some of the thoughts that are going on in your head. You could even write down in a journal after you meditate some of the thoughts that keep popping up. That's your unconscious kind of giving you clues as to what's kind of on the forefront of your mind, kind of burdening you. And you can take the power to kind of restructure those thoughts. Another thing you can do is when you feel any negative emotion. So anytime you feel sadness or disappointment or anxiety or hopelessness, take a moment to check in with yourself and say, what are the words that are going through my head? What are the thoughts that are accompanying this negative mood? This is a technique that allows you to look at your thoughts without having to feel like you have to monitor your thoughts 24/7, right? When you feel that negative emotion, that's going to be your cue, that's your clue to check in with what you're thinking, right? What are the thoughts that you're thinking? I'll give you an example. I recently had a disappointment. When was this? On Friday. That got me really upset, right? And probably why I used the example of disappointment earlier. It was something that I needed to pass, and I didn't pass, just like by a very minimal amount, which was very frustrating, right? And I was crying. I took the time to let myself feel what I want to feel. That's a technique that my mom taught me when I was very young, is to kind of allow yourself to feel and then to move on. Hi, I'm doing well. How are you doing? And then what I did was to tune in to my thoughts that were going through my head. I had this emotion that I accepted, and I took time to be compassionate with myself. But then I took a moment and say, okay, this is my clue to check in with my thoughts. And my thoughts were very untrue. They were not helpful at all. They weren't true. And when you're thinking, a lot of times we can kind of posit our thoughts as truth, when we don't realize that a lot of times not only are they not true, even if they are true, sometimes they're just not helpful, and we can choose another thought. And the thoughts I was thinking at the time was, this is over, this is going to ruin me, all these things that weren't true. I can take the test again, I can pass the test again, and those were things I told myself. What else was I saying to myself? Oh, that I'm a failure, when really I'm not a failure, I just failed. So those are your opportunities to check in with what are some of the thoughts in your head that are contributing to this mood. So instead of feeling like you always have to monitor all your thoughts and think positive all the time, just when you're feeling any type of negative emotion, just check in with your thoughts and take a moment to restructure them. I have a whole plan for my Dream Life Academy students to do this, whole technique that I use, but that can get you started. I also have videos on my channel about negative thoughts and negative thinking. So I'm just gonna recap because I know it's a holiday weekend. Thank you. My mom said great job. And so I won't hold you guys that long. I'm just gonna recap what I talked about. So when it comes to feeling happiness every day, the first thing you need to know, it's not about not feeling any negative emotion throughout the day. It's about rounding out your experience with other positive emotions, even if you feel negative emotions or have challenges, right? It's about bringing in positive emotions by what you can do to also fill out that experience. The second thing is to prioritize your joy. Take the time to be mechanical in the beginning about planning out things that really make you happy. Can you please share any YouTube link for meditation? Yes, I will DM you all my the videos that I have on meditation that might be helpful to you. But like I said, prioritize. You're welcome. I'm glad you joined me. Prioritize your joy, plan your joy, be mechanical about it. It will get easier as you go along. You can use my manifestation principle, my manifestation planner principle to help you kind of do that. But you want to get your joy on the calendar, plan things that are fun, plan things that bring you peace. Also plan out when you're going to be grateful, when you can do some gratitude journaling, those types of things. And then the last thing I want you to do is just to check those negative thoughts. Make sure you're staying connected with the theme of the thoughts that are going through your head, so you can take your power back and restructure any thoughts that are not serving you, that are not either not true or just not helpful, right? So those are my tips on how to feel happiness every single day. Again, if you want more information on anything that I mentioned, either comment on my YouTube video when I repost this, or just DM me here on Instagram and I'd be happy to help. Yes, the power of positivity is so powerful. Oh, I'm so glad you guys found this helpful. Yay. If you guys have any other things you want me to talk about on these Manifestation Mondays, just DM me. Thank you so much for joining me. It means so much to me. I can't tell you enough how much it means that you take your time to spend with me. And then I will talk to you guys next Monday.